Hi, I'm Modai. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for listening to this message, and I hope you will listen to the entire message, and not only that, but also listen to the entire series, as this message will probably take at least 3 hours, and I also will be reading this message, so therefore there will be some slight pauses and it won't flow 100% perfectly. The world we have and what we should have. Preface. More of a warning than a preface, as this document will be highly controversial. Some people will not finish it, but will stop at the first point they disagree with. I ask all to go on, as many points will be followed with an explanation. Others will disagree with some points, and I hope they go on to see if they agree with the majority. For if they do, then it can be of benefit not merely to them, but to society through action upon that which they do agree with. Society is controversial, so please listen to this entire message, as it will come up in both discussion and social action. Even if you disagree, by completing it, you will be aware of the stance taken by its supporters. Introduction. This message is an awareness of reality and a call to action. Even merely by forwarding it on to others, it will bring enlightenment to those unaware of the reality behind the mask of this world. I will approach current world issues with answers that can be taken to avoid the pending trouble we face. It isn't the only answer. There may be others, but as I'm unaware of any other practical answers, I present this for your consideration in the hope that you too will seek a better outcome than the one we're currently heading quickly toward now. Within this, you will find explanations and answers to current issues in media, data security, finance, the environment, politics, and sexual, religious, social, and racial inequality. You can either fob them off or continue. The outcome of life on this planet is up to you. I will explain what we have now, obvious and not, what will happen with or without action, and how we can best overcome, unless another has a better solution that I'm unaware of. What we have now. Firstly, we have highly biased media, and depending on its political bias, either highly supportive of the right or left. I don't see any centre, none that offers both sides of the argument, nor do I see a people's media giving the people's view. By being biased, the media is lying to you by non-disclosure. Their message is, you must believe this or that. It's not open, and in some cases, it really is fake news. Second, we are facing growing numbers of data hacks and targeted scams, fraud, and other crimes due to these. Also, as technology now allows these fraudsters to create fake broadcasts, we have celebrity fraud. This is where they take video images of famous people and edit them into fake reports using edited audio and synchronized lip movement to make it look and sound like the famous person is sending a message that they never really sent or released to the media. Be warned and prepare yourself for an increase in these and other hacks and scams. Then we have severe social, religious, financial and political injustices accompanied by environmental issues, all of which have their own biases. So, thirdly, I'll mention the financial. The great majority of money in this world is controlled by a small few who have their interests in mind, not yours. As a guess, I think there are less than 1,000 people who control the flow of 99% of the money. At the top of them, we have the old banking families, the reserve banks, major banks, the financially elite business people with enough billions to buy a small country, or at least control a government, and after them, our governments, especially the few members that have some economic control. Outside that 1,000, we have the lesser billionaires, major business and minor banks, and your poor, impoverished employers who only have less than 100 million each, with the new elite, social influencers, and other slightly influential people such as lawyers, etc. These people tell you how to live your life, sometimes overtly, but mostly covertly. None of these top 1,000 care about you at all. To them, you are just a pawn for them to win the game of life. Like a government that sends its soldiers to war without provocation, just because they want more power. They don't care for those who will die, just the land or resources they will gain personally. These are your puppet masters, and some of you may consider them your enemy. An enemy to me or not doesn't matter, as I am taking a great risk merely by mentioning it. The simple truth is they have the money and power to do anything they want to any of us, and those of us that even mention their power or lack of concern for us pawns face some risk. Beware taking the greater risk of condemning them. They also have the support of a large number of people who can't see through the false messages that they're marketing to us. We are constantly told by them how wonderful they are, and many of them really do have a large following of fools willing to do their dirty work because they've bought into those messages. Yet, as I go on, I'm going to get even deeper into the sewage. Now, who owns that money in your bank account or pocket? For those of you who are still wise enough to not rely on plastic, not you. The money you are granted to use isn't yours. Sure, you can buy things with it, but you have no control over the money itself. Can you devalue the dollar? No, but a politician can declare its value to change overnight. It's happened in my country before. Our dollar was devalued by 10%, meaning that if I was to buy anything from overseas, it cost 10% more than it did the day before. Can I intentionally scratch a coin? It's illegal. It's called defacing currency. Why? Because it's not my money, nor yours. We are merely granted the use of it. At any time, though very unlikely, it can be called back by governments. There are even laws protecting banks that can allow them in extreme circumstances to keep the money that we call ours. In this country, if you wish to withdraw $10,000 or more from your bank account, you must give a reason for doing so, which they will pass on to the tax department. It's not your money. In almost all countries, if there is a financial collapse, the banks can set a maximum. You can withdraw or refuse to give you your money. It's happened before, and the way things are going, it will happen again. Banks are the opposite of Robin Hood. They steal from the poor and give to the rich. I'll explain how to keep your money somewhat safe and even grow its value by doing so later. How does the flow of money work, and what's the problem if we all have a little and get by in life? I'll give you the very basics, as I don't want to continue for many hours on this, which will only serve to confuse quite a few of you. Its value, as mentioned, isn't what you think, as this can be changed at a drop of a hat. Also, it's not a real value due to the way it's produced. Money is usually produced by a government asking their Reserve Bank to produce X billion. There was a time when the amount produced was the same as the gold the government was holding in reserve. This is no longer the case. They can ask for any amount, and in most cases this is done on a loan basis. The government doesn't own the money either. Whose signature is on the folding currency? The President or Prime Minister's? No, it's usually the Governor of the Reserve Bank and Secretary to the Treasury, or in the US it's the Treasurer of the US and the Secretary to the Treasury. These people are usually appointed by a board of the Treasury, not by Parliament, and the Governor by the Treasurer, which is government, but once in office also has an all but autonomous role. In the US, its governors are appointed by the president, but also have a great deal of autonomy. In many cases, the governments that appointed them then go and ask for currency to be issued by them. A little convoluted. How this is done varies with countries. In the US, they sell bonds and create the equivalent money. They then give it to banks and the government. In all cases, there are no backing assets, gold, silver, as used to be the case. So what's it really worth? A few quotes. Bear with me, as what they say is important. Gold and silver are money. Everything else is credit. JP Morgan, an American financier and investment banker who dominated corporate finance on Wall Street. Gold is the money of kings, silver is the money of gentlemen, barter is the money of peasants, but debt is the money of slaves. Norm Franz, Money and Wealth in the New Millennium, a prophetic guide to the new world of economic order. Gold will be around. Gold will be money when the dollar and euro and yuan and the ringgit are mere memories. Richard Russell. When paper money systems begin to crack at the seams, the run to gold could be explosive. Harry Brown. O gold, I still prefer thee unto paper, which makes bank credit like a bark of vapour. Lord Byron. Now, this is the main point. A US dollar is an IOU from the Federal Reserve Bank. It's not backed by gold or silver, it's a promissory note that doesn't actually promise anything. P.J. O'Rourke. The value of the US dollar has lost more than 96% of its purchasing power since the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913. Consumer prices have gone up more than 30 times since 1913, meaning that a $1 bill from 1913 would have less than 3.4 cents in purchasing power today. Beware, the system will not last. The question from these people, and probably hundreds and thousands of others, is when will the dollar collapse? Not when will be the next recession, like the Great Depression or 2008, etc. And recessions have been numerous between them. But when will it collapse entirely? Many have predicted it as it can't last. It goes like this. Recession, pour in lots of fake money. Growth, boom, beyond its true value. Recession, pour in more fake money. Growth, boom, far greater and putting greater pressure on the value of the dollar. Recession, fake money, growth, boom, greater again, pushing us even closer to an ultimate collapse as the values continue to exceed true worth. We blow up the economical balloon some, then let a little air out. Blow it up even more, then let a little out. Blow it up again to even greater size, each time larger than the last boom. One day the balloon will explode. How many times can we go through this cycle? I expected the last recession we're currently in would be the explosion, but I can see now that there will be another cycle. How many more can the economy bear? Like many, I expect the explosion, the end of the dollar as we know it, to happen over the next 20 years. As factors grow, our lack of foresight causes us to see life as servitude to capital. A life lacking satisfaction as the more we have, the more we want. Greed is seen as good. We ought to redefine our lives to resist this and live with affection, care, understanding, wisdom, and caution to the outcome of greed. John Ruskin said, "There is no wealth but life."